Hello and welcome to the Onward VRML. My name is TFH and I'm joined by my co-host, first time with me today at least, it's Anonymouse. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I am pretty good and I am excited for this match that we have on hand. It is the House, the Animal House versus the Darkest of Matter, which are two very, very talented teams, very intense to play with, and I think the intensity is just going to reign true. We're going to have just a splendid match coming our way today.
I have not played much with these teams, but they're both very good teams, so it's definitely going to be a pretty good game for us today.
Yeah, well, the rankings worldwide are for, I believe, Animal House is rank 10, and then Dark Matter is rank 13, if I am not mistaken about that. So we are having a very, very close matchup. No massive MMR gain potentials for either of these teams unless this match goes really one way. But knowing these teams, I'm going to firmly bet against that. We're going to have a close match all the way through. Hopefully a map 3, round 3 or round 7 decider, I should say, all the way to the end. This would just be, I think it's going to be a great match to watch. We're still waiting for all the players to file their way on in. So I think until we get to the point where we see the full roster here, we're going to go over the pick bans. Anonymous, what do you have for me?
Yes, we do have... Let me get that. We do have Animal House banning Subway and Dark Matter banning Cargo.
Interesting bans, both of them kind of in more intense maps, I would say. I wouldn't say shorter range, but they definitely provide a lot more action in bulk quantities, I would say. So maybe maybe both of these teams, per se, want to kind of spread the action out. They don't want to, keep all the action localized in one area. They want these teams to be more on a strategic level rather than a skill-based level.
Cargo and Subway are both very quick maps, as you were saying. There's lots of action, and our first map pick is going to be Bazaar, which is more of a strategic, longer range, slower map, unlike Cargo, which is very fast.
Yeah, I really do think that these teams are going to want to play to the slower gameplay against each other, mainly because they really know how to bring the aggression. They know how to bring that intensity, and I think that both these teams know that just playing their normal play style is just not going to work against either of these teams. I think while we wait for the rest of these teams to come on in, we wait for the final rosters to come on in, we're going to go to an intermission for the time being, and we will see you guys when the action resumes. Alrighty, and welcome back to the VRML. We're about to get ourselves underway here with Animal House versus Dark Matter. A little thing of note here before we start the round. Animal House is running with 4 people strong. Dark Matter have their full 5 strong roster, so a little bit of a potential bias toward Dark Matter in this early round at least.
It is never ideal to run with 4 players, but it is getting a little bit over time, so it is good that they're just starting with their 4 and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and we were discussing this earlier, but Shrieking Geek is a league moderator, so good on him for wrangling up the Animal House boys as Mad Outdoors is able to find F. Lipinski straight off the bat in the first minute of gameplay. Now Shrieking Geek and Nola might have a good idea where Mad Outdoors is. They're just waiting for him to make the first move.
It does look like they're going for a pretty standard defense. Have a couple in the Kiot building, have one over in the east, one over in the west. Animal House is attacking mostly through the west. I don't see where the rest of them are. I can only see Shrieking and Nolamite right now.
Might be a bit of a UI glitch. It might not be, but who knows? We just do know that Mad Outdoors is very locked in on the location of 2 members of Animal House that were aforementioned, and he's just waiting for them to make his move on in. The remaining member of the Animal House squad, Green Theft Auto, is making his way on through the east, kind of soloing his way on in, trying to see if he can maybe ruffle up the jimmies of Dark Matter enough to allow for Geek and Nolo to work their way on in. A couple of shots there from Green. He's not able to make them find any purchase, but now Dark Matter can work off that information as well.
It does look like Green Theft Auto is trying to just shoot into the west courtyard, into the east courtyard area, sorry. He does not find anyone. He might be coming up on Zucchini any second now.
Yeah, that rotation from Zucchini was trying to find Green Theft Auto, but the exact opposite happens. Green Theft Auto lines that up perfectly and is able to find a pick for Animal House. Now we're into a 3v4. Two and a half minutes remaining on the clock. Dark Matter still holding a fairly solid defense here. Outdoors is probably now the only one that's pushed out very far. He's able to find Nolamite. Now Animal House are only 2 strong with 4 members of Dark Matter to deal with. If my math is correct, that's a double for each member of Animal House if they want to at least try to get a point on the board here.
It does look like Shrieking is going to continue into the east through the west courtyard. He's trying to look at the windows, maybe find Mad Outdoors, but Mad Outdoors starts running a little too fast. It does look like he hears Mad Outdoors, but Mad Outdoors does peek around the corner and find Shrieking Geek, leaving only Green Theft Auto left on Animal House versus 4 left.
Yeah, he's making a very daring charge now. Aquafighter's chosen to go down the back way. Gets taken out by Green Theft Auto. Now Green's going to go on the rotations. Able to find Phenoram. A nice little double. Phenoram is not out for the count. He can still radio this out to Will or Mad Outdoors. Mad Outdoors is working his way around. He sees Green through the window, but Green finds himself in a bit of a predicament and was able to get that final pick.
Dark Matter does get the first point on the board. Green Theft Auto was doing pretty good there in the end. He just could not get all 4 of them that close together.
Yeah, this is the kind of action that I was really hoping to see. Unfortunately, Animal House are starting their rounds off, at least for now, or at least the single round with 1 less player. But the great news for them is that Nynx Dragon has finally connected, and he will be able to bring that Animal House roster up to 5.
It is never good to start out with only 4 players. You always want an equal amount of players as the other team, so it's very good for them that Nynx Dragon has showed up for this next round.
Yeah, and Nynx Dragon is such a good player when it comes to these kinds of maps like Bazaar. He's honestly, now that I think about it, he's a great all-around player. So this is going to be a huge, well, I don't want to say pickup. I feel like it's just a late call-in, but still a huge pickup for Animal House here as they need to kind of regain their momentum after having a not so perfect start, not due to their skill, but due to technical issues. But regardless, knowing Animal House, they always approach games with a very jovial mindset, I think. So I think that this can be something that it would be pretty easy for them to pick themselves back up.
It's always good to never take yourself too seriously in this game, and if you do end up taking yourself too seriously and getting bent out of shape after you lose, it's never very easy to pick yourself back up for the next round and next map.
Well, speaking of the next round, round 2, starting now, we have Dark Matter on the offense in the oh-so-famous Coyote objective. Let's see how they choose to go about this. Dark Matter is one of those teams that can both play very passively or very aggressively, depending on what strategy they choose to use. And so let's take a moment here and kind of see. Ooh, Battledores is going with the aggressive route. He's already able to find Green Theft Auto. Another couple set of shots there, but now he's just trying to suppress the rest of the game as Animal House are quickly back into a 5v4 right away.
We do have a pretty different defense from Animal House. We do only have Shrieking and the one other, and we do have Green Theft Auto that has died already, but we only currently have Shrieking in Kiot building. I normally like to see a few more people in and around Kiot building.
I've always known Animal House to kind of go with the avant-garde route when it comes to strategy. So this could be one of those Animal House moments where they kind of try something a little different. And sometimes if it's going to work for anyone, it's going to work for Animal House. They have the skill to back up whatever kind of fancy strategy they throw at us as casters. And for some reason, it's got to be Animal House that makes it work.
We do Will Sell My P over here in the east with F. Lipinski. F. Lipinski rounds the corner, gets Will Sell My P. Zucchini Zang does get the refrag onto F. Lipinski, bringing it to a 3v3.
Yeah, very textbook, nice little encounter there. Always, if you're going to make the charge, always have someone watching your back to get that refrag in the event that you do go down, and Zucchini Zhang is able to do just that, ensuring that Dark Matter can at least hold on to their momentum, even though their lead has been annulled. We are down into a 3v3 with 3 minutes left on the clock, coincidentally. And plenty of ground to cover, but plenty of time as well.
We do have Fino coming up through the west. He is the only one that went to the west, it looks like. Dr. Aqua and Zucchini are both coming up through the east. Feno does get Shrieking Geek, bringing it to a 2v3.
Yeah, nice little pick there. That really opens up the Coyote objective, at least from his direction. Now, Nynx Dragon is forced to do a rotation that's a little more exposed. I think he's in a place where he really doesn't want to defend from. Nolamite is able to find Zucchini Zang, but then he downs himself. Aquafighter is able to get that confirm in, so free kill right there. Nynx Dragon is still trying to defend all on his own against 2 members of Dark Matter. It is definitely possible. We saw Green Theft Auto get the double last time, but it's going to be a very tall order.
We do see Feno coming up a little bit away from Nynx Dragon. Nynx Dragon is a little bit away, more close to Dr. Aqua, getting into a little altercation with Aqua over there, but Feno shoots him from behind, and they do take a second point.
Yeah, really good pinch maneuver there. Coming in from the north and the south really spreads Nynx's ability to defend. He really can only be in one place at one time, so if you're pressuring from both sides, it's almost next to impossible to properly defend with ease. So really good on Dark Matter's communications there to be able to organize that on the fly and work their way on in. As
you were saying, the pinch maneuver is definitely very good for one defender left. Nynx Dragon was standing all alone right there, trying to defend both sides of the Kiot objective, and he just could not run out without exposing himself to one of Dark Matter's players.
In the end, it almost running out and getting yourself exposed is probably the best case scenario, because the last thing you want to be doing is physically chasing, let's just say Aqua in this case, physically chasing Aqua out into a place where you can't see objective and then getting capped on by Fino. So that would be 2 points that could have easily been, well, if you were greedy for the kills, you could have given up 2 points. So getting killed there as the last defender was definitely, it wasn't a bad idea. It wasn't the worst case scenario at all, and Animal House still are very much in this.
Yeah, you two never want to go running away from the objective, getting capped on, but it does look like we are gonna head into round 3.
Yes, we are, and it's going to be a new objective. It's going to be the mini market. Very interesting objective to defend, a very fun one to watch as well.
This objective is very cappable. You can cap from inside the building, around the corner, around the back of the building. There's a couple spots hidden right next to the objective behind some crates right there.
Yeah, you can definitely sneak your way on in and be able to defend your way through against a good enemy onslaught from that south approach by using the physical mini market itself. But you've also got those buildings to the north, which provide a lot of cover as well. Lipinski takes a couple shots out into the abyss, is not able to make those shots connect, but he is able to call out Phenoram's position as he has pushed out pretty far.
Does look like Shrieking Geek and Zucchini Zang are going to get into a little bit of an altercation as Shrieking comes up North Street. He is pushing into the Kiots, though, moving a little bit away from Zucchini Zang's line of sight.
Friendly above. Yep.
Will Sell My P is watching and just called out both of the Kiot attackers. Nolamite does get Fenoram around Middle Street.
Yeah, Nolamite was working his way up very slowly through that ice cream truck alleyway there, waiting for Fino to come around. It was just perfectly timed for Nolo in that case. He's able to reap the benefits of his timing as Nynx Dragon pushes into the alleyway. But no, Green Theft Auto will accidentally down him. That's going to give Will Sonley some information. Shrieking Geek charges up the staircase that Will is guarding, but she is not able to make those shots connect, as Green Theft Auto is able to get the res onto Nynx Dragon. Now, Nynx might be able to find an opportunity here to shoot Will if he is able to just peek out far enough. A nade goes, or it's a flash. That gives Shrieking a little bit of advantage, but I don't think the flash is placed in a place where it could have easily blinded Will, and it doesn't. She's able to get a kill herself. Nolamite is now able to find Zucchini Zang. We are down into a 3v2. Dark Matter's disadvantage as Animal House try to hash out a strategy at nearing the halfway mark.
Dr. Aqua does have to be very careful about guarding this objective. There are lots of areas that you can get capped on from inside of the building and around outside of the building. But
One more down.
she does get killed by Green Theft Auto, making this objective very hard to defend for Mad Outdoors.
Yeah, Mad Outdoors is the last person up. It's all up to him to find these 2 kills here. They're right in a line for him, but Green Theft Auto is going to charge for the tablet. Mad Outdoors not able to make that connect. Shrieking Geek will get Animal House their first point.
It is currently 1 for Animal House and 2 points for Dark Matter. We are going to go into round 4 after a quick minute of planning. That was a very nice push for Animal House. They all kind of pushed up around the center area. They did have some defenders down in the south, but it was a very nice push.
Yeah, it was also a very interesting ending for Mad Outdoors specific there. I think he was trying to line up Green Theft Auto, but for some reason or another, he just was not able to make that connect. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear about that later, but he was not able to make that connect, and Shrieking Geek with his head on a swivel was able to identify that threat and immediately shut it down before he quickly found himself in a 1v1. And like you said before, that push was really well done by Animal House. They were able to turn around what was initially a disadvantage, losing Lipinski down in the south to Phenoram, and use that information of Phenoram's shots to at least give Nolamite a good sense of where that defensive push pushed out to and worked their way in from there. And it worked marvelously for Animal House in the end there, being able to easily secure a round like that.
It was looking like Animal House was going to take this round with a little more, but then Dark Matter did start getting some picks off onto Animal House, and they eventually brought it down to just a 2v1 right at the end there.
Yeah, there was a very chaotic alleyway conflict that happened in the middle of that round, but no matters about that round anymore. It's round 4, and it is Animal House's turn to defend the same objective we just saw before, the mini bazaar.
Let's go.
We do have some last-minute planning coming out from Dark Matter.
Nah,
I wasn't.
I mean, when you're on Marsoc, you really don't know what spawn you're going to get because Onward spawns are randomized. So just because you'll have the same objective, or, well, you'll have a objective that you're very familiar with doesn't mean you'll have a spawn that you're very familiar with. So sometimes it's best just to wait to play them until you spawn right on in to figure out where exactly you're going to be and what approach is the best approach. A couple shots going off there from the Animal House side as they identify a couple spots where Dark Matter are looking to push in from, but Dark Matter are just one of those teams that are really good at staying tucked and waiting for the right moment to bring the aggression.
Those look like they are going for a more south approach. They do have 4 of their 5 guys pushing up into the southwest, sorry. They only have, looks like, Dr. Aqua, who's gonna push up into the marketplace. She might get shut down by Green Theft Auto, who is in the Kiot buildings.
Yeah, that ice cream truck could be a very interesting place to defend from because the windows aren't exactly bulletproof, and so you got to make sure that you're peeking out in the right place. Zucchini Zhang is able to find Shrieking Geek, though, who was defending closer to the objective, so that opens up the south side a little bit more than Animal House would like to. A rotation is definitely due for them, but they are just pushing out even further. They are bringing the aggression, and Aqua is able to fight Green Theft Auto. We're now into a 5v3. Dark Matter's advantage.
That pick onto Green Theft Auto from Dr. Aqua is going to be very good if she wants to push into the market and start coming up through the west courtyard. Then she can come up behind Nynx Dragon and Nolamite.
And now we're waiting still for the push to really come in from Dark Matter. Keep in mind, smokes are still banned from League play, so they cannot cover their movements, which is so crucial on this map in particular. But Battle Doors will initiate the charge. Now, there's no more window that he has to worry about from his approach, where there used to be in the 1.7 iteration of this game. Nolamite is able to find Phenoram as Zucchini Zhang will get that refrag onto Nolamite. Nynx Dragon is able to find Zucchini Zhang, a double refrag. As now Matadors is trying to sneak his way on through, and he's going to be able to find Nynx Dragon in that kerfuffle. Now, Nolamite is completely finished off by Mad Outdoors there as we are into a 3v1. It is all up to Lipinski to make sure that this cap does not go through.
We're just getting refrags on top of refrags on top of refrags.
It shows you just how much information a gunshot can give off when it comes to the positionality of the player. And Dark Matter are just utilizing that sense completely to its fullest. Lipinski is beginning to work his way around here. He's working his way through dangerous territory, getting off the objective. He's able to find Will Sell My P now, but now Mad Outdoors is rushing his way on in. He's a fast cap. This could be map for Dark Matter. He's on the objective. And that's a 4-pointer right there. Dark Matter run away with map 1, 4-1.
That was a beautiful cap by... Who got that cap? That was a beautiful cap by Mad Outdoors. That was very quick. He ran right into that building, punched in the digits before F. Lipinski even noticed and started to make the rotation.
And we were talking about how a single gunshot can give so much information to the position of an enemy player. Man Outdoors use that pickup that Lipinski had on Will to identify that, hey, Lipinski and their kill counts, assuming their kill counts are correct, which, given the confidence of Man Outdoors' rush to the objective that their kill counts were correct, he knew exactly where Lipinski was, and he was not on the objective. That allowed for Matt to slip on in there and send that code.
It was very good for Matt Outdoors after that. Those gunshots from F. Lipinski came out, as you were saying. F. Lipinski probably should not have moved so far off of the objective. He maybe should have stayed more inside of that building just to make sure that he could have got the defense. Or maybe even just run across the street and give Animal House. And give Dark Matter at 1 point instead of 2.
And you know, we were discussing this before with the predicament that Nink's Dragon was in on round 2, I believe, where he was a little bit tied up, and the best thing he could do was physically just end the round and take the loss with a single point rather than the double point. But the mentality is a little different with Lipinski there. Obviously, he wanted to try to be the hero of the day, and it just, unfortunately, it did not work out for Animal House in that case. They're going to be on the disadvantage on map 1, or map 2, I should say.
It does look like we are getting one person on Animal House switched out before we move into map 2.
Yeah, maybe that signals that Animal House are changing the gameplay up a bit. Maybe they're gonna try to shift to a longer range map. I know that they've got Lipinski. They've got they're actually moving Shrieking out, so that kind of tells me they might not be doing such a sniping map. And lo and behold, I am correct. The next map is going to be Suburbia.
Suburbia is, as most people know, a little bit of a shorter range map. There are some pretty long lanes that you can shoot down, but most of it is pretty close combat, moving through houses, trying to work your way across the map.
Well, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors here who support the VRML. We have ProTube VR, VR Cover, Haptics, Rebuff Reality, Cybershoes, Arma, VR Aware, Fix Gaming, and our newest sponsor, Asterion, who provide VR accessories, I believe is what we've agreed on to call it. They provide a bunch of different things. The best way how I could describe this, go check out their website, go support our sponsors, and see what nice little VR goodies that they have to offer.
They have some nice stands for your headsets, so you can make them look all nice and colorful while they sit there being unused.
Well, that's you know, when you have your headset off, you're looking at it, and while they do pour a lot of great design into how they look while you don't wear them, it's always nice to add that little extra bit of personality to them, since they are a piece of you in the end of it all. Our first objective on Suburbia. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one for Animal House, but I think they're going to look forward to this one. It's going to be the garage objective, which is the furthest objective you could get on Suburbia, even though it's a small amount, but it is a tall order since there are so many little spots for the defense to hang out in, and we're going to see that really soon here as we are immediately hopping into this round.
Was it 4-2? I thought it was 4-1. I think it was 4-1.
No, it's 4-2.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it was 4-1.
I thought it was 4-1.
I looked at it right before it ended.
Bit of
No,
I
you're
don't know if
probably
you
right.
were
I
hanging
looked
out
at my
on
ring
the Dark Matter side there, but a little bit of a debate on what the
I'm
previous
gonna-
scores
I'm
were.
Yep, Dark Matter is debating whether it was 4-1 or 4-2. It
The
was
details of
4-1.
esports.
We all care about the numbers. We care about who won by how much, as that does affect your team's MMR.
And we also care about how close Dolomite is to this defense, as he's pushed up very far. Same with Green, who's I think a better spot than Dolomite is. Dolomite's pretty exposed if Zucchini Zhang pokes his head around the corner, which he's doing right now, but he doesn't. Well, now he sees Dolomite. He's able to pick that one up. Bit of a delayed reaction there from Zucchini, but regardless, he's able to get that pick in. A couple shots from Mad Outdoors, as I think he identifies where Green Theft Auto is. Green Theft Auto will fire back in retaliation. Lipinski will find Zucchini saying as he tries to push up and try to flank. So that nice little kind of flick maneuver from Animal House there pays off dividends. Green Theft Auto is still locking up Mad Outdoors as Shrieking Geek tries to find a different angle just in case Mad Outdoors tries to reposition. But that middle house is proving to be very, very powerful at this moment in time.
To the left of the window.
We do have Animal House trying to move their way past the center. They are going to have to make it past the center eventually if they're going to want to get onto the objective or take out the objective defenders Will Sell My P and Fino. Right now, Mad Outdoors and Dr. Aqua are keeping it pretty tight, not letting any of Animal House pass by the center.
Yeah, they're just in such powerful positions that there's not really much that Animal House can do. You really have to get into the house if you want to try to take out those positions. And that's kind of hard because when you're peeking the corner here, your gun's going to peek out first. And that gives Aqua or Matt a really good idea that, hey, they're here, get ready to fire. And they're going to have that peeker's advantage. Oh, Ninx is looking to charge his way on in there, but that gives away a lot of audio cues, especially with the new update where I believe they've increased the distance that sound travels with both voice and footsteps. So you got to be much more aware of that mechanic change as we go into this new update, which isn't really so new anymore. These teams have played it a lot as of now, but still, old habits die hard.
We do have Nynx Dragon trying to move a little bit slower. Aqua gets Green Theft Auto, making lots of noise, rotating up the stairs, giving Nynx Dragon the perfect opportunity to rush inside. He does get Mad Outdoors, only a down. Looking like he's going to go for the confirm right now. Does not get the confirmation.
This could be a really easy res for Aqua, but no, she goes for the that was actually a really sequence. Yeah, Shrieking with the team kill.
You and me.
That was, well, I was not expecting that little plot twist in that mix. Now we're into a 2v2 after Shrieking Geek has fatally wounded one of his own.
Lipinski is pushed up pretty far, about to make the turn around the back of the house. If he does get past Fenoram, he will most likely be able to see Will Sell My P around the back of the house. We just have to wait and see.
And it's good to have Shrieking Geek in that middle house, kind of being a distraction or giving Dark Matter in this case something to think about. Like, hey, I can't peek out too far here, otherwise Geek might see me, and that might give Lipinski a little bit of breathing room to allow him to maneuver. Maybe try to get a little creative. Maybe try to sneak up and get a code if he is ever so fortunate. But
We have half.
Dark Matter are doing a
One's
really
peeking
good
the window,
job
garage window
defending this
behind,
objective. That's
TFH.
going to be a really tall order for Lipinski in this case. Bit of a nade throw. That's perfect!
Oh, that was a beautiful nade by Fino, getting that confirmation.
And now it's all up to Shrieking, and his card has been played. Now he has to work his way on in here, try to find Fino and Will. Fino is tucked back in there. He's just been tucked in this entire time, but the blind fire through the fence works marvelously. I don't even think you can properly see through that. That is just a great job for Fino by using those audio cues to properly hone in on where Shrieking was.
That it has to be all audio cues, as you cannot see at all through that fence. He was all the way around.
It used to be you could at least see through the lattice, but even in that case, he was looking straight under, well, not looking, but he was listening straight through the fences and shooting through both layers of both the wooden and the PVC fence, and it worked pretty darn well. Dark Matter will take the first point there with a nice little trick shot at the end. And it's all up to Animal House here to show them how they defend it, maybe try to find a point of their own.
You just have to wait and see if Animal House will be able to take the defense on this round, or if Dark Matter will take the offense. Dark Matter can cap on this as they are offense. They just have to get up behind the house, and then they have a pretty easy easy spot to cap. You can cap from behind the wall, behind the house.
Yeah, and there's also another little capping spot that Animal House have previously discovered in the previous update, so I'm not exactly 100% sure if it works in this one, but you can cap in the upstairs bedroom as well. So it'd be interesting to see if they can still pull through with that cap, or if that has been slightly adjusted without us really knowing, or what have you. But regardless, we're going to hop into this round now and see what exactly happens with Dark Matter's side of the story.
We do have Dark Matter getting the same spawn, it looks like. The defense always gets the same spawn on the objective.
Yeah, one of the nice things about Suburbia is the spawns are easier to read, and they're a lot simpler, so you're not playing a guessing game roulette. You can even push out a little bit further because you have that confidence of knowing where the enemy's probably going to be at. But speaking of pushing out, Novabite is very pushed out, but he's getting picked up by Phenorem as he wasn't expecting that far push out from that. Phenorem has all of lane 4 to do his business on. But meanwhile, Lipinski's able to find Will. Zucchini is get it to trade with Green as well. And now we are into a 3v3, and we're only 30 seconds into the round.
This round had some very fast gunfire at the beginning. Thinks Dragon does get Pheno. Pheno pushed out a little bit too much, but it does seem like the rest of this round is gonna be a little bit slower after they got
Behind Tetris.
down to a 3v3
three,
within
lane
the first
three.
30 seconds.
A
But
lot
we
of-
do have
Ooh,
You-
Mad Outdoors. Nice little pick
That's
onto
two
Nink's
confirmed.
Dragon right there. As Dinks was trying to assert his
Check that.
defense from a Jersey barrier in front of the house, but it's also pretty exposed at the same time. And once you already take your first shot, it's pretty hard to... Ooh, Mad Outdoors again is able to find Lipinski as he tried to get his own flank on. And Matt's just proving to be a force to be reckoned with as we go into this 1v1. Shrieking Geek versus Mad Outdoors. And Geek is a little bit off of objective, but at least he can see it.
center house spot to defend the objective is not my favorite, as you can get sneaking up to behind the house, and then it is basically game over for you.
Yeah, I think Geek completely agrees with you there as he begins to rotate his way on back. He's using the tank for cover right now, while he has a basic idea of where Matt Outdoors is. But Matt Outdoors is closing pretty quickly as he has locked in on the Geek's location. Maybe too much shrieking in this case.
Shrieking Geek is going to rotate back into the house a little bit behind the concrete barrier.
Yeah, those barriers can be pretty powerful because you could see opponents behind either one of them, and you really don't know which side of the bush in this case you're gonna find your opponent coming from. So it's a little bit of a roulette game working your way up through the driveway. And so I think Geek's in a really powerful position to be in a 1v1, and we see it used a lot, and it works very effectively.
Shrieking Geek and Matt trading throwables. Matt does throw a grenade just a little bit. I mean, Shrieking throws a nade just a little bit off of where Matt was. Earlier, Matt did throw a perfect. Sorry. Matt did throw a perfect flash. It was just to an old location of Shrieking. He threw it right behind the APC after Shrieking had already rotated.
Yeah, and Matt's now invested in the long game. He's going to just try to take his time, try to scavenge for ammo, try to find a really powerful position. It doesn't look like he's too invested in the cap, but there's still a minute and 30 seconds to go. And on a map like Suburbia, a lot of things could happen in a minute and a half. So cap is definitely not out of the question, but with where Shrieking is at right now, it's definitely going to be a very tall order for that at least.
Is going to be pretty difficult, if not impossible, for Mad Outdoors to get past Shrieking Geek and behind the house to get the cap. Mad Outdoors will most likely have to kill Shrieking Geek, if not the other way around.
Yeah, and we always see the standard hide behind the trash bin defense happen so many different times, and it's such a roulette wheel because so many different players are so tuned into that defensive position that it almost becomes a high-speed gun battle of its own, even though it's usually fought while crouched.
Mad Outdoors might be able to get around and just peek over on top of Shrieking and get the kill that way. Mad Outdoors checking into center house just to make sure Shrieking is not over there. Mad
Yeah.
Outdoors is making a little bit of noise. Shrieking can most likely hear it, and there we
Oh,
go.
it's a trade, and
They-
Dark Matter will get the better of that trade.
They do get the.
Wow.
That was beautiful trade. That was
Incredible. The peak from Geek at the very end is what alerted Mad Outdoors to his position, and he was able to get the quicker shot off. And that just works perfectly for Dark Matter here. It could have been Animal House's point, but they're going to start running away with round 2 here. Something's got to change on the Animal House side here if they want to try to force a map 3.
I think Mad Outdoors did actually drop right after that kill.
And Miterdom, I guess that's what that is. Or get killed by Geek so hard that you get removed from the server and asked to join.
Just get booted to the main menu. Like, you got killed a little too hard.
It happens every once in a while, but luckily it's not permanent. He's able to rejoin without the need for a rehost, which is wonderful news. And hopefully we'll get our Onward action here going back up and running very shortly.
Do like the quick round timers.
I do, yeah. The 5-minute round timers are definitely. I didn't know how I would feel about them at first, to be perfectly honest with everyone. But I do find that consolidating the matches a little bit has definitely improved the gunplay a lot more, bringing in that sense of urgency that this isn't. That extra minute used to be a time of planning for some teams who really like to use that full 6 minutes, but now they have to think more on the fly. It's become a game of speed chess, and I love it.
I'm gonna put my league player hat on. I do not really like the 5-minute round timer versus 6-minute round timer. I think the 6-minute round timer let you play it a little bit slower. If I'm gonna put my caster hat on, I do like the 5-minute round timer, as it makes the matches that much more interesting.
Well, at this point, I'm doing more casting than playing, so I am very happy with this nonetheless. But plenty of pre-fire happening from the Dark Matter side as they try to make sure all the lanes are properly leaded.
We do have a nade onto Center Street. It does not get anyone, though.
No, the nades have been pretty okay today. Not too spicy, but not bad either. Theft Auto is making sure everything else is properly leaded as well. Lipinski's about to try to push his way on out, maybe try to find Will in the process.
Matt is taking some pre-fire around the corners. Gonna throw a nade. It's gonna miss F. Lipinski. That was actually a flash.
He's able to dodge that. He does. Oh, Nix finds Mad Outdoors with confirm coming in from Lipinski. Nolamite finds Will Sell My Peep. We're now down into a 2v5. This is looking pretty good for Animal House in the first at least quarter of this round. Just as I say that, Dr. Aquafighter is able to find a crucial pick on Nolamite. Shrieking Geek gets the refrag onto Aquafighter. We're down into a 2v4. Plenty of time remaining for Animal House to work their way and formulate a strategy over the comms if they so like, but we all know that they're not going to do that. They're Animal House. They're going to be as aggressive as they possibly can be.
Veneram did get Shrieking Geek as he was pushing up to the objective. Gonna stop that cap from coming out.
Yeah, when you're the last one pretty much on the objective, the pressure really falls on you to stay alive as long as you can. Luckily, that pressure is relieved from Fino. He doesn't have to worry about Zucchini having to make a rotation as Zucchini gets picked off. Now it's all to Fino. He can rest easy knowing that if he dies, he only gives up 1 point rather than giving up the cap.
is in a tough position trying to defend against this cap. If he just runs out, his team may not be too happy that he just gave up the point like that. But if he does get capped on, nobody other than Animal House will be very happy with him.
Thinking about it from a team perspective, the fact that his team let him be into a 3v1 situation, it isn't exactly his fault, and whatever goes in that situation. At least
Let's see.
that's my 2 cents on that mentality.
See if Fenno will be able to get Nynx Dragon as he rounds the corner, or if Nynx Dragon is gonna peek around and see Fenno first.
I think Nynx is in a great spot to be a distraction for Fino. If he can just get Fino to peek out and around to try to find that Lipinski can easily work his way and find an angle onto Fino, but we all know Nynx is making a lot of noise. Fino not so much, but especially with this update lately, it's been a little bit easier to detect positions that people thought they were being super stealthy in.
Super stealth no longer works as well as it did in 1.7. There are a lot of noise that you make when you move.
Not as much Metal Gear Solid 5 anymore. And Fino will completely agree with that, as Nynx Dragon is finally able to get that pick onto him. Animal House will pick up a point of their own on map 2 as they try to mount their own comeback.
We do see Animal House trying to make the comeback, but the Dark Matter does have 2 points to Animal House's 1.
Yeah, and the strategy change for Animal House, I think, is working pretty well. They're not nearly as aggressive as you saw them in the previous map. They're taking their time, they're finding the picks, and then pushing their way out in. They're forcing the angles onto Dark Matter. They're definitely, well, it's kind of hard to be Animal House without smokes, granted. I think smokes are a really core fundamental of the way that they normally play, but regardless of that, even without the smokes, they're still able to find their own kind of Animal House vibe and work with that. And I think it's working pretty well for them on map 2 here. I think this could easily be an Animal House map if they're able to just finally make the pieces connect and maybe be able to force map 3, which would be a caster's dream. All deciding map 7, or round 7, as always.
3 around 7 is very tense moment.
It's tense for the casters. I could not imagine being a player in that situation, but luckily I have the luxury of being in the spectator seat whenever that happens.
You have the luxury of being able to see everyone's positions, nothing being a surprise.
You make that sound like it's a bad thing. Plenty of pre-fire coming out from Animal House there, as their LNG crew is making sure that they are pretty well heard. Especially with those new gun sound effects, courtesy of 1.8. Nolamite is able to find Zucchini Zang. The nice little pick there, but Phenoram is able to answer back with a pick of his own onto the Nolamite.
One down.
Pinsky finds Will, and Geek will find Man Outdoors. Now we're into a 2v4. Animal House are looking pretty strong going into this round as well. Shuki Geek, oh no, takes down Lipinski. What is up with Geek and the team kills on this map? He's just not having the time of it. But luckily, it is a res that is capable of happening, and it looks like he's going to go for it.
Gonna get the res out there. We do have Nynx Dragon prone on the objective, so hopefully we don't see a cap from Dark Matter come out here.
Lipinski and Phenoram are getting very close to each other. The angle emerges, but Pheno's able to get that gun snap in there when he was looking the other way at first, and he's able to get that nice little pick onto Lipinski. Bring it down to a 3v2. Far more manageable for Dark Matter in this particular situation. Now, Green Theft Auto is trying to force a pick onto Phenoram. The nade goes off, and that's going to be in Phenoram's favor. Now we're into a 2v2 with that amazingly placed nade. Aqua and Pheno doing work to try to get that 3rd point.
That nade was beautiful. It bounced off of a off of a sandbag right where he was sitting.
3 minutes.
Comms coming out from Dark Matter, clearly aware of the amount of time that they have left. And I'm pretty sure their kill counts are, for the most part, correct. They do know that they are in a 2v2, and they're just trying to see if there's a not so hot side to try to attack from, something that they can mount a safer attack from, especially when you're in 2v2. You're basically kind of resetting the round. You're back to even strength. You're kind of finding a new approach, and it looks like the lane 3 and 4 approach is what Dark Matter are going to settle on here, as Phenoram heralds his approach with a round of gunfire for Nynx Dragon to listen to.
So worth sending some pre-fire into the red car, it looks like.
Phenoram makes a peek out there. Nynx Dragon sees it, but Pheno is able to play the game of dodgeball to the point where he even dodges bullets. Congratulations, you have unlocked the secrets of the Matrix. Now Pheno is pushing his way on up. Nynx is going to try to force the angle around. He now has backup from Shrieking Geek. Pheno is able to find Shrieking Geek. Now it's all up to Nynx Dragon here to try to defend himself in 2. We saw him in the pitch before. It's happening again. Phenoram is pushing his way on up here. He has to find the 2 picks here. Pheno is already on code here. Nynx Dragon doesn't realize it. Their rotation. He's able to find one. He finds the clutch is real. Animal House find a point of their own and tie it up 2-2.
That looked like the cap was just about to come out, but no, Nynx Dragon does get both kills.
An amazing little move right at the last second, right when Dark Matter were getting too complacent on that objective. He was able to punish them while they had their tablets out. He will do. Animal House will get a nice little, I don't want to call it easy, but that ending was definitely pretty easy for Nynx Dragon there, as he just had to line them both up and create a one-man firing squad onto Dark Matter in that scenario.
You never want to have someone capping and get killed as your job is to defend them. That means that cap will not be coming out any longer.
It's definitely a little awkward getting caught with your tablet out. I will tell you that from experience, especially when you felt like that you had the objective well secured. But Dark Matter are one of those teams that are very bold. They are very willing to try to go for cap, even if it's in a very risky situation. So props to them for making the attempt. Unfortunately, Nynx Dragon is there to thwart said attempt, and he spectacularly clutches that for Animal House when it was looking like it was going Dark Matter's way.
We do have it tied now, a 2v2 on map 2.
Cap can make all the difference here for Animal House. They can secure map 2, force map 3, and still be in contention for the W.
If Dark Matter takes 2 more points, they are the winners of this. They are the winners of the series, sorry. But we will still play map 3 for MMR.
As always, as VRML tradition mandates it, we always cast the full game so we can see exactly the full potential of all teams and see where, how their MMR plays. Because a lot of times we do see full blowouts in the first 2 maps and then a spectacular comeback in the 3rd map. So I think it only does these teams justice that we cast all 3 maps anyways, because they all mean something. Nolamite is able to find Zucchini Zang down by the playground. That's going to be a nice little boost for Animal House to start their day off, or their round off with, I should say. As Green Theft Auto finds himself in a bit of predicament with the upstairs and the next door neighbors, Mad Outdoors and Aquafighter, respectively. He is pretty much pinched vertically. He really can't do too much. He's pretty much locked in there. Mad Outdoors has that window very well covered. Matter of fact, he's getting shot at right now. He's able to dodge. Wow, he's able to dodge Mad Outdoors while negotiating that window. It looks like he's going to try to go for the peak, but Mad Outdoors is just really good on that crouch play. And Mad Outdoors is trying to force the peak. He's going to trade with Green Theft Auto, but Mad Outdoors will get the better of that trade. The res is possible. He can rady out some positions, but I think it's going to be Shrieking Geek who's going to get that confirm in at some point.
I traded with one downstairs.
One in the garage
There's
window.
One backyard. One backyard.
Getting a
Two
trade
backyard,
on
one
that
14.
double peek. I think Mad Outdoors is calling out to Shrieking Geek. Always like hearing the enemies communicate.
Lipinski's able to find Phenoran. This brings it down to a 4v2. Dark Matter's disadvantage. Animal House are looking to mount an attack here, but Dark Matter have a very powerful position. That's both of the houses right now. So they are definitely not out of the count here. They have very, very strong positions that are going to be a pain in the butt for Animal House in this scenario. It's really up to Shrieking and crew to be able to
Okay,
clear
middle
out
house
that
is
middle
clear.
house to give them some kind of platform to operate from when it comes to the objective here. But no, he tries to work his way on up, and Aqua was able to capitalize on that opportunity. We're now into a 3v2.
God damn it.
Aqua does get that call out that
There's one in middle house.
she killed Shrieking Geek, letting Will Cell know that there's one less enemy for him to worry about.
Will doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Lipinski will get that pick as Dink's Dragon is now trying to find his way to Aquafighter, the lone defender. Now, keep in mind, no more smokes in the league as of right now, and this is such an objective that relies on smokes in order to be able to try to make the approach. So maybe Animal House are thinking about just trying to go for the kill, but Aquafighter's in such a powerful position. Maybe the cap is more worth it in this scenario. Nolamite tries to go for it, but now Aqua is able to shut that one down before then. Now we're into a 1v1 due to the indecisiveness of Animal House as to what strategy they want to use.
Dr. Aqua does look like she's gonna move out and rotate. This might be the perfect opportunity for F. Lipinski.
Lipinski's actually memorizing code right now.
He is memorizing code. Aqua might be able to find him, but no. Lipinski does get shots onto Aqua.
Tablet, bring the gun out, find the round. Animal House take the lead on map 2. Doesn't mean that they haven't locked in yet. They got to find one more point, but now it's Dark Matter's time to attack. They've been very cap friendly lately. They could easily steal this away here in the last second, as they have shown before that they could cap on a 2-point round. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again, but I really want to see a map 3. So for this round only, let's hope that Animal House get 1 point at least, so we can see that map 3 decider.
Hopefully for Animal House, Dark Matter does not get a cap out on this. Round, that would not be very good for Animal House.
Very, very clearly not good. That would be an instant loss right there. And then, in a very spectacular fashion, nonetheless, the Dark Matter caps have been very much on point all day today when they do try to get themselves onto the objective. But I think Animal House have definitely learned from their lessons on Bazaar about how they have to defend their objectives now. And they've been doing a really splendid job of doing that and making it really tough for Dark Matter to kind of operate the way they normally do. Maybe it's time for Dark Matter to shift up their play style just a little bit, tweak it here and there, and try to see how Animal House respond to that.
Hopefully we go into a round 7 map 3 decider.
The meme lives on.
But we are moving into round 6.
Yeah, we're gonna have pretty similar spawn as to the last one that we saw before. Doesn't really mean much on Suburbia since the spawns are so close.
Yep. Take it.
But it does give a bit of a lane 4 bias to the approach. Zucchini saying is able to find a double right away. That is no good for Animal House as they're trying to seal their map. They're down to a 3v5. Matt Outdoors has already got a really nice angle onto Nink's Dragon. He's lining that one up. He sees it, but Ninx just ducks slowly out of the way. But slowly but surely he's able to stay alive at least for the next 10 seconds. Matt Outdoors tries to make another attempt by moving up, but Ninx is just staying tucked. That's exactly what he needs to be doing as of right now, while he waits for Matt Outdoors to get too pushy, maybe try to get himself into a bit of a predicament. At least that's Animal House's strategy.
Outdoors might not want to be so into Nink's Dragon, as Nink's Dragon doesn't really matter that much to the defense if he's just
Nix
over
is
in the
completely
corner.
rotated from the tank under Matt's nose. That's going to be a game changer to Matt. Well, for Nix at least. But Phenoram is also working his way up too. Matt's watching a position that's no longer occupied. Phenoram doesn't really know about Nix's position. Now he does, but he's no longer able to radio it. Nix finds himself a double as he's able to pick up Matt outdoors. We've tied this up back into a 3v3 of what could be a decider for Animal House.
We do have Will Cell and Zucchini coming up behind this burning house with Nink's, and Will Cell does look like he's gonna rotate around, maybe finding Nink's Dragon.
Will is trying to chuck a nade out, but that's the wrong decision. Nix was peeking the angle. He might be able to find Zucchini, but Zucchini's able to pick that one up. Now we're into a 2v2. It's only Aqua and Zucchini, Shrieking and Lipinski, both of which are in the same block. It's going to be a very interesting defense for Animal House here, as they're kind of in a not ideal position given the approach, but maybe they can work something with it and just to hold it like it's a lane instead of trying to cover all sides of the objective. But that relies on Lipinski being able to identify the cross from Zucchini as it happens, and him not dying and letting Zucchini slip behind the tank into a place where Shrieking can't defend from.
If Zucchini gets behind the tank, then, as you were saying, Shrieking will not be able to defend the objective without coming out from the house. Lipinski will have to see that cross coming out from Zucchini. And F. Lipinski does get Zucchini as he peeks around the corner, leaving it all up to Aqua versus Shrieking and Lipinski.
I think Shrieking did radio out Aqua's position, because they're kind of... Shrieking is really holding an angle here, and he's talking, so Aqua clearly knows where Shrieking is. The roles are reversed here. Shrieking now has the middle house. Aqua is now the one to attack the middle house, and let's see who wins this time on the battle for the staircase.
I have never seen somebody climb up on top of that overturned table, but Shrieking just did it, so I guess it is possible in this update.
There have been a lot of things in this update where have suddenly become climbable. For a minute there, there's a tree on Bazaar that you could climb all the way up, but the devs quickly learned about that and fixed that, because that is not exactly realistic when you're in a full battle dress uniform, because that stuff weighs a lot and it severely hinders your tree climbing ability.
I just scale the tree like a monkey. You can't do that?
I'm not a military person, so I don't really know that for sure, but I will tell you that military battle armor is pretty heavy, and so you better have worked on your arm day if you're gonna be climbing trees like that.
I think there were a few trees that were climbable actually on Bazaar at one point, but
I'm
now
gonna cut you off here. I think the peak is gonna happen here really soon as Aqua's no, she's actually opted. I'm sorry, but I thought the peak was actually gonna happen, but she's actually opted to go outside and maybe into the line of Lipinski in this case. But maybe Geek could drop a cheeky little nade. Oh, but Aqua's actually gonna chuck a cheeky little nade up instead. It won't find Geek, but that's another flip of the tables right there, at least for me, who was predicting Geek to lob a hot one out, and Aqua's able to find one through the window there. It's plenty of radio calls for Geek now. Now Lipinski springs into action there. And an Animal House will win off of the timer.
we weren't even looking at the timer. We did not realize how close this round was coming.
Yeah, and I don't think Aqua was looking at it either, but it definitely was a bit of a surprise for me, because I'm used to those 6-minute round timers, as we said before, when that just ended there. But I'm pretty sure Animal House will pretty happy to take that that freebie there pretty nicely. It gives Lipinski a bit of an easier job, but now they do force the round 3, and it's going to be Quarantine.
I think Dr. Aqua actually rotated out of the center house at the end there, because she did hear the 30-second little deep.
And I do want to mention something here really quick. Lipinski, that last map, went 10 and 3 with his kill to death ratios. That is a pretty spectacular number. Granted, it is suburbia. It does favor the gunplay a little bit more, but still, a very skilled stat coming out of Lipinski in that previous round. Hopefully, you can carry it over here for Animal House, but I am very, very certain that Dark Matter are very hell-bent on making sure that that is going to be a fairly tall order for him.
Both teams should be really trying to get this map. It all comes down to this map. We could see one of the teams just get destroyed and lose, but hopefully that does not happen, and we have a tight round, a tight map for this final map 3.
We've always talked about how 1.8 has changed the meta, and what am I saying? Quarantine is one of those maps where the meta has severely been changed. They physically uprooted the map and changed a bunch of things around and really changed the routing to objectives that we've normally been used to seeing, and even changed a bunch of the objectives up on its own there. So a lot of different meta strategies kind of, I don't want to, well, they're definitely in development, but they're definitely more budding, I want to say, as they kind of get refined and kind of go through the growth that League provides when it comes to strats like these.
These teams have been playing on these new maps for a little bit now. The update did come out a little while ago, so at this point, none of these spots should be a surprise to the teams as we do go into round 1 of map 3.
Yeah, we're gonna have what was formerly one of the garage objectives, but there is no more
Oh, no,
garage
never mind.
there,
Never mind.
so
Never mind. No, that was
really it's just become the plane wing objective now.
I can't even find the objective.
It'll come eventually. But we do see kind of a similar harking to the 1.7 strats of having Aqua look down the street, making sure that no one makes the cross to the south side. Don't worry, make sure that is completely secure. Animal House, on the other hand, are opting to go on a completely north approach as of right now. Trying to secure that north roof. And maybe the whole crashed plane building complex.
Oh.
We do see Shrieking going up for the roof. Green Theft, Nolamite, and Nix Dragon already pushing into the plane wing building.
Yeah, and that's a really strong building to hold, especially for this objective. It allows your team to have a bit of a stronghold per se, a forward operating base to kind of be able to regroup and kind of hash something out, and at least have someone hanging back to provide a little bit of overwatch, just in case you get one of those pesky Volk people trying to rotate their way on back. But little does Nix Dragon know that he has a very unfriendly neighbor nearby that's working his way down the staircase trying to find him, but luckily he does have Nolamite watching his back. But if they're not careful, this could easily be a double for Phenoram.
And Nix Dragon does get Pheno, not allowing for that double. They are going to push up onto this second story, which will allow them great visibility over onto the objective.
I believe that.
Yeah, and having Shrieking Geek on the rooftop, he's a really good sniper as well. He does have 4x on him. That's going to provide a lot of operating room for Animal House in this scenario. Be able to hash something out here. Nix Dragon's able to find Will. Zucchini Zang's able to get the nice little refrag onto Shrieking Geek there, preventing any kind of Overwatch sniping that I was aforementioned before from happening. Caster Curse, I'm telling you, it's real.
Will Cell is getting some call-outs.
Yeah,
Nola
well,
might.
more importantly than call Green Theft Auto and Mad Outdoors are in a bit of ring around the rosy, but Lipinski
That was mine.
spoils the party there for Green Theft Auto there, as he picks up that kill when Mad Outdoors is in a bit of an awkward position that was kind of caused by Green Theft Auto. Now Green working his way on in there. Dr. Aquafighter identifies the position, but now Green Theft Auto tries to peek out again to get that, but Dr. Aquafighter is going to get the better of that pick. Now Nolamite is working his way on in there. Aqua hears that. I'm surprised Nolamite wasn't anticipating that at all, but regardless, that is how it happens.
You have
And now-
Eflipinski pushing up a little bit. He definitely hears Dr. Aqua. Definitely knows that she is around the building, but that does not matter as Nynx Dragon gets Aqua, giving this round to Animal House.
The slowdown in the play proved to be Dark Matter's downfall in this particular round. They were doing really well when Animal House were being really aggressive, really giving away their positions, but when Animal House just immediately, after losing Green and Nolo, slowed down their gameplay, held good angles, waited for Aqua to peek out. There wasn't really much Aqua could do in that scenario, and Animal House ran away with the first point.
See what happens next round if it was just... Normally the defenders take the round if it is that close, but we'll see if Animal House gets the point defending this next time, or if Dark Matter can take this next point, bring it to a 1-1.
Like I said, I'm really hoping for that 3-3 round decider, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Dark Matter have been really good on their responses to getting, or to losing points, I should say. So I think they're gonna adapt to this pretty quickly, hash out a really good offense, and really give us a good show. Who's gonna win this next round? I have no idea. That's why I'm casting it. But it's just been that back and forth that I really can't even give a decisive say on like what's going to happen, because Animal House are a very wild card team. They kind of do as they feel in the moment. And, you know, at one moment they can feel like that they're on top of the world. They're just going to run at the objective, see what happens, throw as much utility on it, create as much havoc as possible. And other times they're going to be really methodical. They're going to be strategic geniuses, and they're going to really slow down the play. Same thing for Dark Matter. They have their moments where they can get really aggressive and just try to use up as much utility as they can, try to confuse the enemy. And other times they're going to hold good angles and hang back, wait for the enemy to come into their sight line. So they both have very similar play styles, and that's why I think these two teams are going to be great to be matched up against each other. And so far, I am completely right in that stat.
Green Theft gonna take out Mad Outdoors over in the north. Green Theft does get spotted, so he rotates around. He's gonna come up onto Zucchini Zang. Let's see if Green Theft can get Zucchini Zang. A flash does come out, and Green Theft gets the kill onto Zucchini, bringing it to 8-5-3.
Very nice use of the utility there, using the flash, waiting for Zucchini to confusingly peek himself out there, maybe without knowing if the flash ringed true, and was just waiting there, waiting for Zucchini to blindly peek out of that corner and reap the harvest that he has sown.
We do have Fino in the plane crash building, getting Nynx Dragon, who is defending it, leaving this building open for Fino to get. Fino does climb up onto the engine, but doesn't look like he's gonna take that route. Looks as though he's gonna come up these stairs.
Ram's able to find Shrieking Geek. Now we're into a 3.5 3 situation. 3 minutes remaining on the board. Right as I say that, Green Theft Auto will find Will, and now we're down to 2 members remaining on Dark Matter. This is not the kind of approach that they would have wanted, but they're definitely not out for the count yet. They've shown before that they can get the picks right when they need them. I would not suspect it. Phenomram's able to find Green Theft Auto, just as I predicted.
Bring it to
when
a
they
2v.
needed it.
Bring it to a 2v2. Nolamite might be able to go get the res on Shrieking Geek, but Dr. Aqua will have to be taken out first, making it very risky. Nolamite is going to go in for the res.
another one.
Dr. Aqua downs him, leaving both down, but Aqua gets the confirm. F. Lipinski downs Fino. Fino on top of the plane, and F. Lipinski in the center building.
I almost gotta wonder. Ooh, a couple of shots there coming from Lipinski. Find Aqua Fighter. I kind of wonder how much Shrieking Geek could see over those boards there. That's kind of on him to call out to Nolamite that, hey, I'm not Resville right now. There's someone watching my body right now. But unfortunately, that call did not go out, and Nolamite pays the ultimate price for that as we go into this 1v1 here. And Lipinski's able to find that, even though he was at a disadvantage, because Fino was providing callouts for Aqua. But regardless, that is an amazing win for Lipinski as he carries Animal House to a 2-0 lead on map 3, the deciding map.
Animal House just has to go in for the cap at this point, and they take map 3, giving them the series.
As spectacular as that would be, I am very certain that Dark Matter are not going to let that happen that easily. They're probably going to really lock in here, keep their heads down, and give Animal House a good run for their money before giving them the map. I do believe Dark Matter in this match also have the connoisseur's advantage. Not that it really is an advantage, but at least they have the people behind them kind of rooting them on in the background in this matchup in particular. But regardless, we have seen plenty of comebacks happen before with regards to the connoisseur's vote. Some completely reversing the connoisseur's wipe, but this is nowhere near a wipe. We have plenty of people voting for Animal House for this match, and so I'm pretty sure everyone who's voting for the house right now is pretty happy to see that a nice little 2-0 on the board as we head into round 3.
The connoisseur votes are locked in at 38-11 for Animal House.
Oh wow, okay, Animal House has the advantage. I thought Dark Matter did.
No,
Shows you,
Animal
I know,
House.
I'm only right 50% of the time, so
It's better than never being right.
there you go. Exactly. Someone gets it.
We do have Dark Matter taking a little bit of a more
I'm gonna
open.
interrupt you for a bit here. Phenoram's on a massive charge in, but Lipinski's gonna shut that down.
Dude, that was stupid.
I'm wondering a little bit what was going through Phenoram's mind there, but regardless, Animal House are gonna be pretty happy with that early pickup to start off their round here, especially as they have this lead going into the deciding map.
We do have Dark Matter on a little bit of a more open defense. Only Dr. Aqua really on the objective. Lots of Animal House watching Dr. Aqua's position. Lots of free fire. Zucchini gets F. Lipinski on the center, I think.
Lipinski is in a bit more of an exposed position, I think, in that. Actually, you know, I don't really know where Lipinski was. I can't find his body, so. Oh no, he was in exposed position. He's behind the wall. He was able to find that.
APC
one really
down,
easily.
he
But
needs to
Green
be
Theft Auto
confirmed.
was able to find Will Sell My P. Man Outdoors now finds
more
Nolamite, and Shrieking Geek
One
finds
down.
Zucchini Zhang. Finally is able to avenge his fallen friend, Lipinski.
Bring it to a 3v2. 3 up on Animal House, 2 left on Dark Matter. Dr. Aqua and Mad Outdoors are left on Dark Matter. Mad Outdoors should be rotating just as he is back towards the objective.
Yeah, and Dark Matter have been caught into these situations where they're kind of down a man in the latter half of the round. It really hasn't been working out that well for them in this particular scenario. Animal House are really good when it comes to finishing Rounds it all. This is about to get really spicy. Nink's Dragon is working his way on up here, but here comes Mad Outdoors. Ninx is not paying attention to it at all, but no! Ninx does shut this down. The cap potential is there. Aqua is not rotating, but Green Theft Auto is going to shut that down before a cap can happen. Animal House will still have to fight it out for one more round, but they get the point nonetheless.
It is now at a 3-0. It'll be very difficult for Dark Matter to come back. They will need to get 4 unanswered points if they want to take this series.
And against a team like Animal House, that is just going to be one tough cookie to crack. To get 4 unanswered points against a team as skilled as Animal House. If anyone's going to do it, it would be Dark Matter in this. Like, if I could name any teams to do it, it would be Dark Matter. I'm going to rephrase that, but that's how I'm going to rephrase it. But it, like you said, it's going to be really tough, but it is definitely possible for Dark Matter to be able to bring this back here, really come in like a bat out of hell, and just go full send. Honestly, that's the best way to phrase it. Full send, 4 points. Let's go. Let's see if they can do it.
Let's do it. Hopefully we will get a spicy next 4 rounds where Dark Matter takes all 4 and ends up winning. But most likely that will not happen.
Hey, I'm not putting my cards in yet here, okay? I am down to see round 3 or round 7 decider nonetheless. Dark Matter can pull it off. I will be a very happy caster.
Always want happy casters. Sad casters never make very good casts.
You know what? I never thought I'd say I'd agree to that, but I agree to that. It's always a different day here at the VRML. You never know what you're gonna get whenever you walk into your job here, but regardless, I love it.
We are stepping into round 4.
Far left window in the far left track. I can watch the full north.
This
Yeah.
could be the
Yep.
final round if Animal House are able to get this point here, but now it is up to Dark
Yep, will
Matter
do.
to pull off something big here. And
Okay.
what better way to go big than go cap?
Animal House is going for a pretty similar defense.
And a couple of shots coming out there from Will is to identify one of the positions. Green Theft Auto finds a pick on VRML. Which is, VRML has been getting taken out in the early stages of the rounds for the past 2 rounds here. I'm wondering if he still tried to push out as hard as he could, and it just didn't work out there. Aquafighter's caught inside of garage as Green Theft Auto launches a nade toward her. That nade is a flash, and it will not blind her, but Green Theft Auto will be able to get the kill regardless. Now, Dark Matter are only 3 strong. Animal House are 5. Will is able to find Nink's Dragon. That brings it down to a 4v3. Plenty of time remaining here for Mad Outdoors and crew to be able to find something there, as Nolamite finds Will on that nice little refrag. Now down to a 4v2. 3 minutes remaining here. Dark Matter only 2 strong, but they have to find something here. Mad Outdoors finds exactly that. He finds Green Theft Auto. Lipinski finds Zucchini saying Mad Outdoors finds F. Lipinski.
2 down.
We're now down into a 1v2. It's all up to Mad Outdoors. He has 1 res available to him. Where is that actually?
It does look like Shrieking knows exactly where Mad Outdoors is, pointing his gun right downstairs. Mad Outdoors does look like he's gonna cross Shrieking's line of fire any second now.
Yeah, and that res, I finally found it. It's pretty far away from Mad Outdoors, so I'm going to say that that is pretty far out of the question, especially with Nolamite kind of watching that way. But regardless, it looks like actually Mad Outdoors is going to try to attempt it. It might be Dark Matter's best attempt at it. I would have said trying to go for the 1v2 might be the better way. Let Zucchini Zhang give the call-outs. But it looks like Mad Outdoors has got a nice little route going for him that I think he can actually, with some relative safety, be able to try to get the res going. As long as Nolamite doesn't peek around the corner, he should be good.
Outdoors does look like he's gonna res Zucchini Zing any second now, bringing it to a 2v2. Nolamite and Shrieking versus Zucchini and Matt.
Right in the ground. Right where you are. That's where my body is.
Mad Outdoors and
Oh, it's like-
Zucchini are having a little bit of trouble getting the res out.
You
I'm
know,
coming
if
at your
you're, if
bouncing
you're
head.
instructing someone on how to perform surgery on you, it's a little bit of a challenge. Looks like Matt Outdoors has given up on being a doctor,
can't
so
catch you.
he does not get the title Dr. Matt Outdoors. This is what happens when Aqua dies. She's the only doctor on the team. Granted, it's
What
a
the hell?
clinical psychology. What
That-
on earth?
That was a beautiful res, like, that was
Okay.
very far away.
All right, now Matt, if you are watching this cast back, you now get to put a doctor in front of your name as well.
We will refer to
I
you
was-
as Dr. Mad Outdoors for the
Well, he has
rest
to
of
put his
this
name there
cast.
first. But can he be a doctor and fix himself a double here for Dark Matter and be able to keep them in this game? Maybe try to resuscitate the match here for them, as it's almost flatlined.
You were just using all of the big doctor words.
Well, it helps when you have an actual doctor on one of these teams, so might as well go into that field. Nolamite's watching this angle here. Matt Outdoors is not looking the right way. This is good. He's turning his back toward Nolamite. Zucchini doesn't even see it, but Shrieking Geek will find Matt Outdoors as Zucchini Zang's able to get that refrag going. Now it's down to a 1v1. It's Zucchini Zang versus Nolamite. Nolamite sees Zucchini Zang first. Zucchini's able to find cover. Zucchini peeks back out. He's able to find Nolamite. Dark Matter will stay in this.
And now it is a 3-1. Animal House has not taken the map yet. We will see if Dark Matter will get another point, or if Animal House will take the series.
Yeah, very interesting res strategy coming out from Matt Outdoors. Definitely kept Dark Matter in the game there, especially after I said that it was probably not going to happen. It happened nonetheless, and even when the game itself was glitching on Matt's side, the communications definitely came through and figuring out where to stick a needle in order to get the res going on to Zucchini in that scenario. Very interesting, but regardless, that is just how the game is, and we're just going to accept that. Next objective will be, oh man, this is gonna be both good and bad for Dark Matter. Here's why. It's the hospital objective, the ambulance. This objective so far has been incredibly capable. So if Animal House are able to get their groove together here, they could easily get themselves a 5-point victory here, if they're able to get it. But if Dark Matter can hold on their defense, they can put themselves in a really good position to try to go for that cap, and maybe go for, if they do get the cap in the end there, because they'll already have the defensive point win as well, that could be that 4-point victory that we were talking about earlier. So the possibility is there. It really depends on Dark Matter getting this defensive game.
We will see what Animal House and Dark Matter do in this round 5.
I'm here. Thanks.
Now take that, you dirty slut.
Bit of spread coming out from the defense on the Dark Matter side. Looks like they're going to try to at least have eyes all around the objective. And on an objective like this, with so many different capping spots and very, let's just say, not easy to access locations if you're watching from one side, if you need to rotate, has a very good strategy. We saw, I believe, Ember attempt this before against Dark Matter previously, and it did. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Entity before that tried this against Dark Matter, and it did not work out that well, as their sniper on the hillside was not able to prevent the cap coming out from Matt Outdoors in that scenario.
You are just all caught up on your Onward history.
Helps to be a caster.
You have Nolamite and Shrieking pushing up through the center area with the new underground area where Shrieking is taking.
Yeah, the parking garage is definitely kind of allowed for a new pathway to this objective. It allows you to kind of get behind the
When an
safety of
admin
that
really
wall in the
hopefully dead.
courtyard. Just work his way on up there. Maybe chuck a grenade over for safe measure, but
Stop laughing at me. I'm trying my
looks like he's
hardest.
going to just stay tucked for now until he knows that he has a clear path to work his way on up there. Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about a rooftop sniper. Phenoram is looking he's looking east right now, so he won't see that. But the nade, oh, that's just a flash though. Shrieking chucks a nade back over. Is it a grenade? It sounds like a timed like one, but it just lands a little too far to hurt Zucchini. Zucchini fakes the I'm down. He's able to find Matt. I'm sorry, Shrieky's able to find Matt outdoors in that scenario, but now he has to make sure that he's able to find as well, which he does. Down into a 4v4 here with 3 minutes remaining on the clock.
Upstairs.
Normal
I got
Mike
one in
and
admin area.
Nix Dragon both kind of hanging back there, trying to judge where this dark matter defense really is. And what's the best way to approach it? The spread out defense is working really well right now. Definitely giving Animal House a little bit of a headache here as they try to seek that last point. But Phenoram's able to find Normal Might. Animal House are ablaze away. Not working for Animal House this round. Dark Matter are well en route to be at least stay in here for one more round if they can keep this up.
Lipinski is doing a little bit of a crawl. Dr. Aqua does see Green Theft, but Green Theft runs right through her bullets. Like a true bullet dodger.
No, you didn't.
Whole different genre
Really?
of video
I thought he
games
died earlier.
and Onward at least, unless that is really what Onward has come to.
After I hit someone's head, it looked like they were black, but hopefully not.
And plenty of dark matter defense left to go around here as they're still 4 strong with 3 physically in the objective complex.
I didn't get him.
Make that 4 now if we can count Will. But she's going to be a little bit occupied with this dragon shortly, but not right now.
Oh, Wilcell does give a call out onto Nix Dragon. And Wilcell quickly takes care of Nix Dragon.
Yeah, very nicely done. He's able to get the radio in, communicates properly. Zucchini Zhang's able to find Lipinski as well. Animal House is now just Green Theft Auto versus pretty much the world, as there's still 4 members of Dark Matter left standing here. This is exactly what we were talking about before. This is the defensive round that they just so needed. And Green Theft is able to find Zucchini Zhang, but he still has to find 3 more kills if he at least wants to get this point. And let's talk about the other component in this round as well. The timer is running down now. We only have 45 seconds remaining for him to get 3 kills. That's 1 kill every 15 seconds. Either that or go for cap. Luckily, most of the Dark Matters consolidate themselves for Green Theft Auto, but that can also be his downturn because everyone's right there ready to kill him. And just like that, Phenoram will become the winner of the Who Can Kill Green Theft Auto minigame. Dark Matter will take the 2nd point, and they are well on their way to trying to make a reverse sweep happen in their favor, trying to take the game on the last round.
Will have to either get a cap on this round or take 2 more rounds if they would like to win. Of course they would like to win, but if they are going to win.
Yeah, and one thing that was really interesting was Zucchini was when Shrieking Geek threw his grenade over, it landed a little too far. But Zucchini, seeing how far away the grenade landed, he just stayed right where he was and knew he was going to be fine. After the grenade went off, he specifically said, I'm down, I'm down, I'm down, as if he actually was down, trying to kind of bait Shrieking Geek into thinking that that whole courtyard was clear. And indeed it wasn't. He was right there waiting to shoot him, which he does in the end. So that tactic worked masterfully, and I'm pretty sure Geek's not going to hear the end of that after watching this cast.
Oh no, I'm down, I'm down! Bam, gunshots come out. It was just beautiful.
We see a lot more of the deceptive tactics kind of coming out in recent days. El Vegas has his signature move where he physically throws his equipment on the ground and lays down and has managed to trick, from one of the times I've casted in Delta Squad. I know he's done this numerous times, but I think most memorable is Delta Squad.
That-
And he was reserving for the developers of this game, who went by the name The Whole Thing for one game now. Great out as they work on
Yeah, but it's northwest.
improving
Northwest.
1.8.
You're playing. I believe.
I'm gonna go inside the plane. Okay.
Yeah.
Playing Dead by El Vegas versus Delta Squad was beautiful.
Ooh.
He got through the smoke and just laid there, threw all of his equipment onto the floor.
I'm going to interrupt you really quickly as Will Sell My P finds Nink's Dragon. They're working their way onto the objective. Plenty of utility going out there. Shrieking Geek's able to find Will, and Green's able to get the confirm on that, so he'll get the point. Not that the points really matter, but they kind of do.
The points matter. That was a perfect flash onto Green Theft Auto, but it was a little too late. Green Theft Auto can see now, so nothing will come out of that. Nolamite gets Zucchini Zang. And it does look like there was a flash onto the roof of the building, but I don't think Shrieking was affected.
Nolamite also picked up Aquafighter during all of that, so now Dark Matter are only 2 strong, Animal House are 4. Animal House are really looking
One
to
F center
secure
burn.
this win without making it too spicy for
Downstairs.
us. Understandable, they've worked really hard for this. But now, the 2 remaining members, Dark Matter, Phenoram, and Mad Outdoors, are kind of approaching from the same side here, but they're kind of pinched themselves. They've got Nolamite watching the street from a very nice angle. And that could be disastrous for any hopes of a Dark Matter comeback here.
Nolamite should be able to get Phenoram, as you were saying, as he comes out. But it does look like Phenoram does know where Nolamite was, or he was just getting lucky with where he was pointing his gun.
Well, keep in mind, Nolamite did get Aquafighter and one other, so I think his position is very well known by the Dark Matter crews. They probably heard his gunshots and saw their teammates go down and is like, that's not friendly. So, at least that's in my logic. Granted, the view from the casting team is a little bit different than the view in the game because we don't have a wonderful UI to help us understand all this chaos, but Tricky Geek's gonna try to peek out and try to find one on Phenoram himself. A couple shots coming out from the Animal House crew. I couldn't exactly tell who that was. I think it was Lipinski, but he might have spotted Phenoram, but he wasn't able to make that line up properly.
Mad Outdoors is going to be rotating over onto Green Theft Auto any second now. F. Lipinski is also coming up to back up Green Theft Auto. Ooh, Green Theft does get Feno.
He does able to find Pheno. Mad Outdoors finds Green Theft Auto. Lipinski should know exactly where Mad Outdoors is. He's going to duck back in for now. Wait for Mad Outdoors to make the first move. Mad Outdoors chooses to rotate here. This could be it for Dark Matter if Mad Outdoors does not clutch here. He has to find 3 people here, but Nolamite is going to be able to secure that one for Animal House. The comeback is real. Well, it's looking really rough on the first map for Animal House. Turns out to be a victory for them as they make it happen in map 3.
Animal House. Great game. You guys played those last 2 maps beautifully. That was a perfect end to the series. We were hoping it was going to go to round 7, but round 6 is okay with us.
Regardless, it was a really good end to round 6 there. That nice little attempt from Mad Outdoors to try to at least secure a point there when everything was kind of going wrong for him. Unfortunately, it didn't work in his favor, but regardless, he did put on a great show. But that's going to wrap it up from here at the casting desk here at the VRML. My name is TFH. My co-caster today is the wonderful Anonymouse. Our producer is Nightfire with 2 E's. And don't forget to check out all of our sponsors. Pro2 VR, VR Cover, V Haptics, Rebuff Reality, Cybershoes, Arma, VR Aware, Fixed Gaming, and our newest one, Asterion. Take care and have a great day, and we'll see you guys on the next cast.